Yeah, Nupur, please proceed.
A very warm good evening, everyone. I am Nupur Sharma, pursuing BTech in Computer Science. I welcome you all in the final session of our AWS Bootcamp organized by UPS CSA. Today, we are going to get an overview on Amazon Lex, and post session, a very rewarding quiz awaits you. But before that, I would like to shed some light upon the plethora of opportunities that await students at UPS CSA. We are ecstatic to represent before you all the opportunity to be a part of UPS Cloud Security Alliance, the first student chapter of the international research organization Cloud Security Alliance in Uttarakhand. We provide you with a variety of committees to choose from and an abundance of opportunities to avail that is directly provisioned by our collaborators like AWS Educate, Student Community India, NVIDIA, Code Warriors, AWS User Groups Dehradun, and Give My Certificate, to name a few. Now it is my utter delight that we have Mr. Sanchit Jain, technical architect at Quantiphi, having 6 years plus of IT experience in designing and building distributed big data applications on the cloud. Mr. Jain has an extensive experience in setting up secure Hadoop, Spark, ELK, and Kafka cluster using infrastructure as a code. He's worked with most of the AWS services like EC2, VPC, ELB, RDS, S3, and many more. He also has a good knowledge of building big data applications using HDFS, MapReduce, Hive, Kafka, and Spark, and the list goes on and on. We are very delighted to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Nupur, for that warm welcome. Uh, I think you didn't left out any word for me to introduce myself. Thank you for covering that up. And yeah, I think I'm really happy to work with the same audience. I think I've worked with very closely with AWS Dehradun user group to conduct the bootcamp for cloud practitioners. So I'm very happy to see the similar faces again in a different platform. This time it's UPS CSA. So thank you so much, community, for inviting me to just address this audience again. I'm really happy to be this community, and
Our
thank
pleasure,
you so
sir.
much. Thank you, and thank you to see this vibrant people, the number of audience I can see at the Sunday evening, where you always try to spend your time with your family or try to chill, and I can see people are really excited to learn about AWS. So that's really motivates me to go about what I have decided. With that, I'm not going to waste a single minute, and I'll directly go ahead, share my screen, and we can start with the session. Just give me 1 second. Share screen.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Yep.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you. So I'll start, as Nupur clearly mentioned, we'll start with Amazon Lex overview. Even if you don't know about Amazon Lex, need not to worry about it. I'll always start from ground zero. I'm assuming no one on this forum or in this particular platform knows about Lex. So we'll start with that. I'll quickly jump on today's agenda. We'll understand, first of all, what is chatbot, because it's very important. But before you jump on to Lex, you need to understand what is chatbot, right? How exactly chatbot works in real life. Then we understand how exactly that chatbot experience AWS help us with Amazon Lex service, how Amazon Lex works, couple of key terminologies because that will help you when you work in and out on AWS console, and followed by a hello world demo that will help you to understand outside theoretically how those concept works in a real life. We won't waste a single time, and I'll quickly jump onto the speaker. As I said, Nipur has completely just put out everything about me. Just the only thing I'll just add, along with working at AWS at Quantify, I also actively participate across different user groups, conducting certification boot camps, talking about my experience, my expertise, which I have gained in industry, about different Amazon services, the best practices. So I keep collaborating with different user groups and keep sharing my knowledge across different platforms, and I'm also part of an AWS APN ambassador. So that's exactly what I do outside Quantify, and that's why I'm nominated for this program to share my knowledge, my expertise with my client, who are the part of Quantify, as well as for the students, for the community, for the people who are excited to learn about Amazon. So that's what exactly I do outside when I'm not at the work. With that, let's start with our first session. What is exactly is a chatbot, right? So, I mean, for sure, people, you all know that some or other way you're talking about chatbot, right? In some or other form. A chatbot can be a WhatsApp messenger kind of stuff, what you're talking and interacting. Now, I think in COVID, this slide has, or this entire domain of conversational AI has gone to a next level, right? Because you cannot reach out to a larger audience where chatbot can help. Any country, or almost, I would say, most of the countries across the world, to make people aware about COVID, to promote the government programs when it comes to pandemic, some or other form they have leveraged the chatbot. Even talking about India, US, or any other country, they have promoted chatbot as a medium to reach out the larger audience. We all know the real life implication of the chatbot, but just let's revise a bit, like what exactly is the chatbot, right? So of course someone may ask me that I'm chatting on a WhatsApp messenger, is that a chatbot? So technically, it's when you talk about with humans, it's not a chatbot, right? When you try to talk about with machine in form of a natural language. So generally, you all are from com science. You always would be knowing that machine always talks in a binary language, right? 0 1 0 kind of language. But when you start talking in the machine, it's like how you're talking to another human. There exactly chatbot is that mechanism where you need any form of application, any kinds of use case. It may be right from a medical domain to talk about your experience or your health scenario, to a banking system where you want to understand your the account details, balance, or you want to make some credits, right? In any form, any shape, across industries, when you try to interact with the machine, there you see a chatbot. So chatbot is not something which got introduced in the market. I completely agree. It has picked up in the market very recent years, but chatbot, if you see this example, it is there from 1966. I think the implication in the market, or the effect or impact what chatbot can do, people took more time to understand it. But chatbot is in some shape, some form, you would see in from 90s. It's there in the market, but not widely adopted. When it comes to the application part of it, I need not to mention any form. You talk about any sorts of support. You talk about any of your cellular phone support. You talk about your e-commerce experience, or you talk about any healthcare or any online booking. Some form there is a chatbot behind it. We tries to give you that experience real time, because you cannot have a larger people of network working around it, right? And even it's like similar. How many people you try to deploy, you cannot serve that entire thing. Like think of like when you have Amazon dot in that big billion sale, right? Or any sorts of sale. There are many people who shop, many people who do have complaint or queries about it. Now it's practically impossible to reach out to that larger audience where you can at least have the first level of assistant can be done with the help of chatbot, where things like order number, what kind of complaint, is it a general FAQ, is it more about your order details or order status, those kinds of things easily chatbot can help to look in the back end and help you, right? That's one of the best thing you can do. And you can try that out, whether it's Flipkart, Amazon.in, or any sorts of banking. Chatbot has become nowadays very common and integral part of any IT systems. And chatbots generally are of two types, right? One is a common bot. Common bot is more like an instructed program where you have feed or you have told machine you have to behave in such a way. The experience with that bot are not very good because they are very static. And one is based out of AIML machine learning, where they learn. So they learn their own way how they interact, right? Reinforcement, you can say, or sort of an unsupervised. That over a period they get mature and better and better. So any random scenario, any random situation that also that comes up, they will see their past experience and try to do it, right? I don't want to go exact in the machine learning side of the things. Just want to keep it lightweight. But there is a AI ML kind of application that you see when it comes to learning bot. They learn over a period of time and become mature as period, as weeks, as month goes around it. So those about a quick background when it comes to chatbot. Again, this is very fundamental. This has nothing to do whether you're using AWS Lex service, whether you're using any other cloud service, or you're using any other software which provides a chatbot. This is a very generic concept which you should be knowing before you really deep dive into or you get an overview of Amazon Lex, right? It's very important to always get why I'm doing this service. So that's my whole intent of helping you guys to understand what is exact the chatbot. Now let's get to the main agenda, which is Amazon Lex. So taking that learning what we got in the previous slide, let's understand what is Amazon Lex. So Amazon Lex is the same service which Amazon has built on this machine learning stack, which gives the capability of NLP processing and automatic speak recognition. So any kind of thing. Now you would say the chatbot can be of generally two types, right? You can interact with the voice, you can interact with the text. Now voice can be like, there are other services are also there in this entire conversational space, which we'll see in the next coming slides. But it may be also that you click on voice speaker, like how you have a WhatsApp, right? You can type the message, or you can also send an audio message. Similarly, the same is the concept. Whatever is your consumption, is it form of a text or in form of audio, both functionalities are provided by Lex. And behind the scene, if you talk about Lex, is like a wrapper which you use as an end user. Behind the scene, it's backed by machine learning stack, which uses NLP for text processing and automatic speech recognition when it comes to audio processing, right? Any guys who has some interest and inclination on machine learning, for them it's very easy. For the people who are very new for all this term and they are hearing it for first time, don't worry about. That's exactly what Amazon Lex has come up in the market. That if you don't come from a machine learning background, you're not even interested to go that side of the entire ecosystem. Still, if you want to build a chatbot and imply that chatbot across market, then here exactly that's a service where you don't have to worry about how and what kind of machine learning models are deployed in the backend. That entire heavy lifting work is been done by Amazon Lex. You should only be focusing on how you want to design the chatbot, which you will see. I am not a machine learning guy, which you will see how exactly I can simply define a chatbot without really defining an NLP model or an automatic speech recognition model. So that's about Amazon Lex, a wrapper which help you to build a chatbot in a very seamless fashion without really understanding or dealing with the complexity of the machine learning behind the scene. So as I was talking about in the previous slide, right, that Lex is powered by Amazon machine learning stack. So that's how you will see there are three layers of machine learning stack, right? Again, this is for your knowledge. This is really, it's not when it comes to Lex exactly when you're working around, but for your knowledge, how exactly Amazon try to package these different APIs, different services. Not need not to be just Lex, but if you talk about any other services, right? So here are the different deep learning, you will see deep learning kinds of models and EMI there, right? Most of the, if this more maybe very new for you guys, the different algorithm like TensorFlow, Torch, Keras, PyTorch, MXNext, but these are widely used when you reach out or when you interact with any machine learning guy, any data science guy. These are the day in, day out kind of the different algorithms, right from text processing to image processing to maybe NLP. These are the different frameworks which they use. What Amazon has done, this all frameworks they have applied on SageMaker as a platform. SageMaker and DeepLens, these are the two platforms which helps machine learning to work, machine learning engineers to work around different of this. You can think of models where they can build and do larger kinds of an application around which help industry to build some more revolutionary thing. Now, one of the problem which Amazon saw in the market is many people do have a problem statement to solve, like what they want to achieve in the business, but they really don't come with that technical background, not even machine learning, but they don't even know come with a technical background, but they have a real life problem to solve. So for those kinds of audience, what Amazon did is they package both of this platform service and framework service in the form of APIs. So these top layers are the APIs for the people who really don't want to deal with the complexity of machine learning underneath, but want to more focus on the business application, build an application and deploy in the market. Like things like recognition when it comes to image processing, transcribe when you talk about, translate you talk about, whether it's poly for voice communication, comprehend for medical documents, or you talk about text, Lex kind of thing, right? So these are the different services or APIs which Amazon has released on their backend machine learning, heavy machine learning stack, right? Today's session, we will be focusing on Lex, but next time, whenever you're working on any of these services, just do remember behind the scene, they do use AI/ML, heavy algorithms, which Amazon has just encapsulated that complexity from you, but it's completely working on an AI/ML stack. Now, this can be a real life example, right? So this is an example which I have published in the Amazon Quick Start. It's an open source solution, right? So after going through this entire session, you can go, you can play around with the solution I've deployed. I've given the link itself. So this is a entire solution which I have deployed at the beginning of COVID. to understand or to make people aware that what exactly is the COVID. So what we have done is very simple is we have collated different documents of COVID from the open source. We uploaded in S3. Kendra is again a kind of an API, enterprise search engine, which is backed by AIML. The capability of Kendra is to search any document stored in S3. It may be PDF, it may be any document. And I've deployed Lex on top of it. So any kind of inquiry that comes in the people, right? That, okay, what is COVID? What's the current state of COVID? How exactly I can save myself COVID? Or what I should do isolation? What are the things of isolation? They can query here with help of Lambda. Lambda can fire Kendra, and Kendra search all the document and give the response back. So technically, you don't need a doctor to get on a call and explain person with help of this chatbot, and you can easily embed this chatbot. I mean, integrate in your website or any government solution. You can easily give the entire encyclopedia of anything. And this solution was very generic in nature. Like today, I'm talking about COVID. Tomorrow, if it is any government policy or let's say any sorts of other thing which government wants to promote, they can change this entire, they can reconfigure the lex, change the entire document set, and the entire solution stack is ready. This solution stack is already live and open source available. So if you are interested and want to play around, you can refer this link, and this presentation I'll share later on at the end of this session. The link is already here, which you can play around. And if you have any feedbacks or any other next step which you want to take it to the next level, you can always reach out to me on the LinkedIn. I can help you and we can work and collaborate on this. So that was the real life application or use case what we have solved when at the beginning of COVID, right? Now quickly, let's cover up a couple of things before we go core to what exactly Lex or what the key terminologies, right? So starting with the features. Now most of the things which we have already discussed in the previous slide, like things like it gives the capability to work on text as well as speech as an input. It also helps you to deploy as a chat service. I mean, you can integrate with your website, you can integrate with Facebook Messenger, you can integrate with Slack, you can integrate with Telio, that's another platform of IVR. Those are the different way you can integrate with third party. You can design for builders, right? As I said, you really don't need to get that machine learning algorithm if you know what kind of application you need to build, what is going to be that entire route, right? The entire journey of a user on the chatbot, right? If you're a good chatbot designer, the experience, how you want to give it to end user, that's what you need. You don't need to worry about the programming and the complexity. Next, you can also version. The best part of any AWS services, not just Lex, is the capability to version. Now, I mean, when you see in industry, right, as a student, it becomes very difficult certain times to imagine how versioning can help you. But if you talk about me from an industry perspective, we always work on multiple iterations or versions, right? We keep evolving. And if it is very important that you go back in the history and see what was version X was doing before you release Y. I can for sure do via code repository and all. Those are the static way. But dynamically, if I want to roll back to the older version, versioning is the best thing which I can do. And that's the best part of AWS, that in almost all the services, they provide versioning. And the last point is enterprise SaaS connector. So as I said, overlapping, if you have any other application, any existing website, and you want to integrate Lex with it, you can easily do it. You don't need to worry about it. It can easily be done with a Node.js SDK, and it's very easy. So that's about the feature, that how Lex not only tries to simplify the entire complexity or encapsulate that, but also provides world-class features that makes your entire experience working with it very simple. I'll quickly cover up the slides. I think I've spoken a lot about the use cases and we have covered up in the detail in the previous slide. Information bot. So the example which you saw about COVID and the Cantra one, very information bot. Application bot, like many of the organizations, if I talk about banking, they do apply things like, okay, you want to reset. Like if I talk about one real example, so I applied for a claim for one of the insurance policy for my two-wheeler. I didn't even talk for one of the live agent for even a minute. It was a beautiful bot design. Tell me your phone number, tell me your insurance policy number. Can you give me the screenshot of your accident? Can you give me all the details? Can you give me this? And like in 7 or 8 steps, I was able to file a claim in just fraction of 10 minutes. The experience of mine was very good, that every year I will just go and renew my policy with that. And it's not just me, it's for everyone, right? Rather than you keep waiting for a live agent, he will take 15 minutes because he's solving some other issues of a customer. He will come back, he will ask you the same question. Then you have to find out a mean to send the image and all. With help of chatbot, that gets very simplified. Not only you can upload the images, the response is very in real time, and the customer satisfaction is very good. So that's about the application chatbot. Enterprise productivity bot, like if I talk about we have deployed, if I talk about Quantify, we have deployed one bot within our company. We have self built that bot to talk about like things like, okay, how's your schedule look like, how's exactly your experience, how exactly your family is doing, and some more information to keep your employee very good, right? Because in COVID, most of the employees were not only just suffering because of COVID, but they were also going to the different issues of mental work pressure, family health condition, and those kinds of different kinds of an issues surrounding, right? Not just only the work, right? The personal life was also been like, it was very impacted. So there we had this kind of an enterprise bot to help them, to motivate them, to track, right? Also to make some announcement like, okay, if you have some information, if you need, you can just give this option and we will help you out, we will reach out to you. Those kinds of things, it helps very helpful. And the IoT part of it, IoT part, wearable system. I think this is a common thing what we in this entire digital world. I mean, did not need to talk about the IoT that has become like a go to go. Like you get a bot, like okay, hey, this is how much time you have run today. It's lagging behind your schedule. You need to run more thousand step, or you have overrun today. Congratulations, you have burned out those calories. Those kinds of information bot, and when it comes to IoT or wearable device, that has become a common example. So those are the couple of use cases on daily life I've seen how bot has simplified, not only reducing the dependency on humans, but also scaling the capability of humans to reach out to the larger audience. The benefits, I think I've talked about a lot in some or other slides, and benefits about it, that okay, easy to use console, it provides a very seamless console, minimal input that's required from user side. Even if you don't come from a very technical background, you just need to know what business problem need to be solved, you can easily do it. You can deploy your chatbot directly from web console itself, which we will look into it in upcoming slides. Seamless integrations, minimum human intervention that you required, fully managed. This is very key important thing which I missed in the slide. Amazon Lex is a fully managed service. What does that mean? That simply means you don't have to worry about where is the server, did you host the server correctly, have you applied the security group, where my server will scale. You don't have to worry about those kinds of stuff. It's fully taken care by Amazon itself, right? By AWS itself. You just have to design your chatbot in a very clean and seamless fashion. That's what you have to do. Remaining, when it comes to infrastructure part of it, everything will be taken care by AWS. That's called as fully managed. Easy integration with numerous AWS platform. Like similarly, what happens in behind the scene, right? Amazon Lex directly integrates with Lambda. The advantage is within the Lambda, you can write Python code and you can reach out to anything, right? From database to warehouse to your BI reports to anything. You can do any enterprise application also, any of these services, you can do it, right? Simple example, I talk about that Canva example, which you had Lambda Fire and Canva, and Canva interacts with S3 and you get the answers, right? Those kinds of easy stuff also you can do. Cost effective, and need not to talk about pay as you go kind of a model, because you're using AWS. Everything is a pay, no upfront charges, no license, no commitment, no tier. You just pay, and whatever you consume based on that, you're going to charge. So those are a couple of quick benefits about Amazon Lex. Now let's understand in detail how exactly Lex works, because by now I assume that you guys know in and about what Lex, and some or other way I've convinced you guys to go and work around with Lex. But even I need to help you guys to understand how behind the scene Lex operates, right? As the entire platform Lex operates. So first on the left hand side, you have the Lex. Now, what exactly Lex does is Lex is a kind of a service, kind of a platform which help you to build a chatbot, to design the chatbot, and to help to deploy the chatbot. That's what Lex. Now, Lex also gives that intelligent chatbot with help of Lambda. So it integrates with AWS Lambda. And as I said, AWS Lambda can reach out to any services with help of the Python packages, Python SDK, or any other thing. I mean, not just Python, any language, Golang, Java, .NET, Node.js, whatever the language Lambda supports, you can easily integrate. You can write your custom code in it. That custom code can integrate with DynamoDB, with notification, with email, with other services. Any of the other services, to it may be database, or even it can be like the best example was I saw in one of my client. most of the people are very cautious about the cost consumption. So what they do is they give the capability in the lakhs, and the lakhs they put it into your mobile itself. So you don't even need to log into AWS console. With help of the mobile application, you can shut down your EC2 instance. That okay, hey, I forgot to switch off my, let's say, 4 or 5 EC2 instance, which is going to charge me. With help of Lex itself, you can just interact, and Lex can provide you that menu, give me the details, give me the other inputs. Based on that inputs, it tells Lambda, hey, go and shut down this 5 EC2 instance. It's a very good example, even on the DevOps side of it, not just EC2. Even if you want to build any kind of or deploy any platform, that's also you can do with help of Lex. So those are the different application you see, not only from an enterprise perspective, but even to seamlessly reduce the complexity from our day-to-day life. So that's how exactly Lex works. Design the chatbot, integrate with Lambda, and perform any sorts of action which you want to do with help of Lambda. So that's how Lex operate. When it comes to operation, what are the different stages, right? So 4 stages, out of which 3 are very important. First, create the chatbot, which means you create the chatbot, configure the chatbot, design the entire user experience. That's one part of it. Two, test the bot, right? It's very important. I mean, you need to talk about. You need to test the bot. Third, you need to publish and version the blog. So this way, publish means you can make it live for the larger audience, not just limited to few limited people who can access from AWS console. And the last, you integrate that bot with any of the application, which may be your existing web application, which may be Facebook, which may be Slack, or any other platform, chat platform. Those are the 4 things you need to do, and you will learn in very easy, in just fraction, I will say, like in 10 to 15 minutes, I deploy a very good chatbot about how to reserve a kind of a hotel table, right? Very simple chatbot. I'll deploy it in 10 or max in 15 minutes, which you will learn in 2 slides down the line. But before we go towards that demo, there are a couple of things where I want you to learn and focus, because that's exactly the term which we will be seeing when you're working on the AWS console. First, starting on the left side, the Amazon bot. So Amazon bot, as I said, a very intelligent, interactive medium to interact with humans. Intent, in simple, intent is anything which I want to do. So as I said, I will create a demo for reserving a table in a hotel. So what I want to do, book a table in a hotel. So that becomes an intent. My end goal, what is my goal to achieve, in short, right? What action I want to do, which can be as simple, I want to credit some amount in my bank, right? So that becomes an intent. What is a goal I want to achieve? Within that goal, there are 3 things: name, utterances, and intent fully, which we will see in the upcoming slides. Then it's a slot. Now, in order to achieve my goal, I need to give certain of parameters. Like for example, if I want to add certain amount in my bank, it's not going to work like this, right? I need to give a couple of details. First, I need to verify who am I. I need to provide my account number. I need to provide the amount, and I need to make or provide my credit card or some other details, right? Or some more authentication. So I need to give the input. So that input is called as slots, and the type of that input. Now, for example, some input can be text, some input can be number, some input can be, let's say, actual media, or it can be a custom defined input. That is called a slot type. So I'll cover up all of this in the live demo where you will see intent, slot type in detail. So do remember, Amazon bot is an intelligent platform which helps to interact with with humans form of conversation. Intent is any goal which human wants to achieve. For that, they are creating this bot. There you will see name, utterances, and intent fulfill as a part of intent. Then there is slot, like a parameters which help user to perform the action, and slot type, which is nothing but the parameter type, which defines is this parameter is a name, number, address, or any custom defined. Very simple here. If you see this image, you will see similar kind of a simulator when we are working on UI, but very simple what we have understood in the previous slide. Now, the same example, I want to make a payment. So that becomes an intent. What is my goal? I want to make a payment. I would check my balance. That becomes an utterance, user input. So user input utterance is nothing but you want to start your conversation with chatbot, right? Always, chatbot is not in an on state. Like how you say, Alexa, please start, right? So you trigger Alexa to work or to listen you. Similarly, utterance is the first step where you tell chatbot, I want to start the discussion with you. The first triggering sentence. Like here it is, I would like to check my balance. Then there comes a prompt. Prompt is the response from the chatbot, which is in the dark blue shade. Sure, which account? Then you give a slot, like a input to it, that okay, my saving account is XYZ. It verifies, give me this response. Then it says fulfillment. So this exactly where you see that the first sentence is always called as an utterance. Any other sentence after that, which is given from the user side will be slot, like the input which you give to process your request, which can be anything, right? From string to first name to last name to date of birth, time, date, anything. And the last response, very last response which you get from the bot is the fulfillment. So here are the small, I would say, tricks to remember, like how exactly when you're working with Alexa, how are the different things, right? The first way to invoke a bot is utterance. Any other input given after that from user side is called a slot. And the last sentence which you get from the bot is called as a fulfillment. So that's about a quick example. And if, as I mentioned in the previous slide, intent fulfillment is more about how exactly you can fulfill, like you need to build a Lambda to interact with any AWS services, or you need any custom client application to fulfill it, right? For a very simple example, you upload an image and you want a machine learning algorithm to process that image and tell you what is that image. Now, chatbot cannot do it. Chatbot is a chat platform. It does not have the processing capability. There, it will take that image, give it to Lambda. Lambda will process and give the response back, and Lambda might have his own code, machine learning code hosted in it, or it might talk to SageMaker or any of their API or recognition. That is fine, but it will just invoke any of the machine learning services, get the response, and that response which you got from machine learning, Lambda will package it and give it back to the bot. That causes intent fulfillment. You can also use Lambda function as a code hook. Certain times it is very important. Like if you see this previous slide, when you say my saving account, it is very important that to validate the user at each and every stage. This is a very financial tech, right? I cannot allow any guy to just get into my system and hack it. Because if I just validate my user at the last, the person is already in my system. I don't even know whether it's a genuine person or a hacker. So what I do, I just validate my system based on every input is given. When I say my saving account, the number that is given is the right account number or is giving some fraud number. When it says date of birth, is that right date of birth engaged to that account number? So that validation at each and every stage of user input is done by the Lambda function as a code hook, where customize your user interaction, initiate and validates user input, and fulfill the user intent. You can do any of this three action, which you will see in the slide, which we will take care of now. So if I quickly recap, Amazon bot, intent, slot, and slot types. Then this is an example how exactly this works. And at the last, intent fulfillment, where you can have the capability of processing like Lambda or any client application to take care of it, as well as an code hook to validate each and every response given by the user at each stage. Okay. Next, couple of small things to understand. Like this is in line to what and how you work with Lex, right? You create the chatbot, you save the chatbot, then you build a chatbot. Build is whatever you have defined within the chatbot. Is it right? The syntax wise, is it right? Right? Chatbot, I mean, Lex cannot check from a user perspective, but it will only check the syntax perspective, that whatever the syntax you have defined, any sorts of missing, anything is wrong. So it will build, it will test. If everything looks good, it will allow you to test, right? This test can be of two types. One, Amazon does it, which I'll show you in the console, as well as you as an user can test that whatever I have defined, like maybe the framing of the sentence, or maybe the way it is just prompting, all this coming out in a clean fashion, verbal wise, everything is right or not. That kind of both the testing which you can do. And when you're sure everything is fine, everything is perfect, it's good to go, you publish. Publish is like you save it, and then you can that publish bot, you can take it and integrate to any large website or any application, so you can reach out to the large audience. So that's how you can think of like a life cycle it works. AWS also provides a couple of other supportive way to monitor the performance, right? Now, none of the platform provides this kinds of capabilities, because for when you talk about the chatbot, no one can think about how we can monitor the things, right? But there exactly Amazon comes up that, okay, when it comes to chatbot, how exactly your user is interacting with the chatbot in terms of misutterances count, request latency, and traffic by channel. So not only you deploy the right bot, but the kind of way the user is experiencing with that bot, the kind of fault, the kind of latency, the kind of traffic it you get, you can easily track that in the console and give the seamless and very beautiful experience to the end user. Okay, so that's about what we have learn about different legs, different kinds of key functions, and the other terminologies. Now I'll go to the actual demo where I think what you guys were waiting for. So I'll switch on to my AWS console, and I hope everyone can see my console. It's visible to everyone. What we'll do is, I assume you guys know how to log into AWS console. I'll make it very simple thing. So we'll go at the legs. And before we go on the legs, let me just do one quick thing. Okay. So what I've done is, this is my GitHub repository. I will request organizer to please paste the URL for this repository in the chat. So this URL repository, I've given it to the organizers. The PDF of my presentation, which I have demoed today, the entire presentation I've uploaded in the GitHub. This is my README file. So this is the same README file I'm going to follow to create the bot. So this will help you. You don't have to remember anything. What kind of input you need to do? You just have to copy paste it and rightly log into it, right? So first are the three things. Log into AWS console and switch to US East 1. So that's what I've already done. I'm logging into my AWS console and I'm switched to US East 1. Second, search for Amazon Lex. So I'll copy Amazon Lex and I'll search. So let's say I go back to my home screen. I paste Amazon Lex, and the first service you will see Amazon Lex, right? The landing screen. Then under the bot section, click create. So as you can see, this is for the first time I'm deploying. So you can create the get started. And if you have already played around with that's the bot, then you need to be sure. So I was just trying it out. Let me delete this out just a second. So this was the bot I was trying out before the demo. Yeah. So this is my bot where you see under the bot section, click on create. So under the bot section, click on create. This is my first screen where you say create your bot. Now there are three things, okay? You can create your own custom bot. You can use the try sample one. If you're pretty new, and I would always request for the guys who are working for the first time with the legs, start with the sample one. So you will understand, you really don't have to worry about the complexity of configuring it, but you really understand the sample, right? But since I have played around a lot, I'm going to really show you how exactly the custom bot configure so you understand it. Because sample bot will simplify everything. So bot name I've already given. Again, this is not mandatory. I have just saved it. You guys can choose whatever you want and whichever example you want to do. I'll see as a English and I'll say none. Okay. For this one, I'll just keep it a textual. Session timeout is idle. So you see the information, how long your bot should retain the context. Let's say if you're not giving any response for up to 5 minutes, your bot will die, which should be, you cannot have your bot always running, right? And this is only in minutes. So do remember, you can't have your bot running for half an hour, 1 hour, or 2 hours, right? That's not the ideal case. Then sentiment analysis. So for that's exactly what I was talking about. The best thing of using Amazon Lex is not just building that capability of chatbot, but also to track the sentiments of user. Are they angry? Are they frustrated? Are they happy? Are they sad? That kind of sentiment analysis, what you can do, right? Lex uses comprehend for performing sentiment analysis on text or speech inputs to your bot. So that's an important thing. IAM role, you can leave this by default. And no, this is for the children online policy protection app, right? So anything what we are building which is not good for children, that it means you can say no. And please do ensure if you're building any mature application, like let's say if I talk about any information bot about COVID and all, you need to be sure that you don't provide any information which is not following about this. If you are doing that, then you have to click on yes, right? Where you have to verify all the details. Since we are just keeping a very demo bot, I'm saying as no. And this is a new thing which has come up very recently in 2022 itself from AWS, the confidence score. So confidence score is the kind of the response which you get based on your utterance and all. the what kind of threshold it can accept, right? So 0.4 is what I'm saying. Again, this is just an example from demo perspective I'm giving. You can configure it anytime, how accurate you want to make a bot, or how much different functionality you can do. So what it's going to do, it's going to match the input which user gave up to what confidence score it can match and give the response. So I'm keeping it lower end because it's a demo, but again, it differs from your use case. So I'll click on create. So what we have done, we have provided the bot name, okay, and we have just kept the rest of the things as default. The next thing is intent. What exactly I want to do? So I want to reserve a table. So here you can see, as we learned in the previous slides, the intent is what I want to achieve. I want to reserve a table. Okay, sure. So I've intended, okay. Now, after the intent, what you can do is you can just say, like for example, like this is the utterances via which I want to invoke a bot, right? So I can type is table. That's one. You can have many other options, right? This way, the end user of your the one who's going to work with your bot or will play around with your bot, how they want to invoke the bot. So just I have for demo, I'm just create two. It's very important that you give multiple option at the start. That makes at least the first appearance or the first image of the bot should be very good. That people will always say book a table. That can be, or they will, if they're very polite, they will say please book a table, please reserve a table, or table. There are many ways the user can interact with the bot. So the more option you give here, it's very good. Then this is the initialization and validation. So if you remember in this slide which we talk about the code hook, where you can validate the response from user, you can give it here. I will keep it as it is because I said I'll focus on the things which is more without coding, how we can design a bot without a code. So we'll stay away from Lambda. We'll only just design it. Okay. So now here you will see the different kinds of slots, like what kind of parameters I need from user to finish or to book a table. So here you can see a laundry list of the things: booking date, time, number of people, and restaurant name. Those are the standard thing what you need, right? But again, the hotel name is very subjective, right? The restaurant name is very subjective. Now you want to build a bot which can only book a table, let's say for Dehradun, or for India, or for US. So the hotel name will vary drastically. There you can define your own custom slot, right? So I'll define, let's say, the custom slot for a couple of hotels which are in, let's say, Mumbai, which is near to me. So what you have to do is you have to click on this plus sign, which is on the slot type, right? So slot type, you can import a slot type, you can extend the slot type, or you can create a slot type. Create means the custom define. So I'll click on the custom define. I give the name. Expand the values. That means what is a possible range of values you can allow, or restrict to slot values and synonyms. Like generally what people do, for yes they type y, for no they say no, right? Those kinds of shortcut, what we have a bad habit of chatting, right? Or for thank you so much you are TYSN. So those kinds of shortcut or synonyms you can add. So whenever in user type y n or any kind of an shortcut, the bot can recognize, right? So that kind also you can do. But for us, for this example, we will use the expand values. And you can see I've given the hotel name. Again, you don't have to put everything in one row. This is like a list. So you have to copy. You can give any hotel here. I mean, no need to worry about that. But you have to enter, paste and enter, right? It needs to be a list. After this is done, you need to add to the slot intent. Now, when you see the slot intent, you automatically see that, okay, there is a by default a line which is already added, right? Now I'll go back and you can see here, okay, I need to create 4 other parameters. First is the booking date. Tell me for which date you need to book for sure. And this is, as we saw, it's a date. By default, Amazon provides date. And you can provide any of this text. This text is like how bot is going to capture the information from the end user. Like bot will not say, tell me booking date. You need to make it more polite, more graceful. So this is a prompt which bot will use to talk to human. On what date you want to book a table, right? The second is book time. After you get a date, you need to book a time. And for the time, there is again a default thing which is provided by Amazon, and you have to provide the prompt. So similar is the thing you will see. I've given all this thing which I'm going to configure. So I'll quickly copy paste it. It's just a copy paste what you have to do. And again, here you need to give the restaurant name. And again, the required and optional. Always be sure that you by default give everything as a required, because that's very important, right? So, okay, 1 second. Okay. So, number of people, that's the next one. Number of people. And then in number of people, what we will be doing is number. Like as number said, we'll just type number and do ensure you select number and you select how many people will you join. Will join you. Okay. So here we have added restaurant name, which restaurant, what booking date, booking time, and number of people. Always, as I said, please ensure that you select this. Next, we'll select the confirmation pop-up. So confirmation pop-up is after the input is given by the user, you confirm that, okay, this is what I've received. Are you sure you want to proceed it? So that's what I'm saying. Check the confirm pop-up and copy this. Now, this is very dynamic. Like as you see here, I'll show you 1 second. Right? So you see the restaurant name. So I select any of the restaurant, any booking date, and any booking time. By default, it will pick it up at the runtime itself, right? So this curly brackets means any variable which I provide at the runtime. So let's say I provide Taj. So by default, it will pick up as Taj, right? If I provide, let's say, Aura. So by default, it will pick up as Aura as the restaurant. So do ensure that. And let's say if the user says, I don't want to reserve, no, this is not what I want to reserve. I want to cancel. It will say no and automatically get it. And again, you can add your custom response and all of the stuff, right? Like for example, if I give it here, I'll try to give a custom response. Thank you for booking table at, let's say, restaurant for, which you can copy it for, let's say, the given date and at given time. At the last, you will greet the user for using your service. So this is how I just know how to design the bot. I don't know any programming language. I don't know Python, Java, Lambda, none of the thing. I just know what bot I want to do. So this is how we have to just define very simple. Define the utterance via which you want to invoke a bot, what and how you will collect different information from the user, how you want to confirm what information you have collected at the end, and last that you want to greet the user. Okay, so that's it is. Next, if you go back in the life cycle, what is the next thing which you have to do is you have to build. So first you have to save the intent. You save the intent, so it got saved. Now you need to build. So the building process is in control, and I'll just, so here you can see that the current process is built. So you saved, you created the chatbot. If you go with the life cycle, you created the chatbot on the left side. You save the chatbot. That means now you're currently building it. So Amazon Lex is currently compiling the inputs which you have given, so it can design the chatbot. Now it's currently testing is done. Now it's finishing the build, so you can use it. Once the build is complete, you will see a green dialog block which will say the bot is ready to use. Let it for a half a minute. It should be there now at any moment, which will say that the block is bot is ready to use. So as you see, booking a table bot was built successfully. The build is complete now. You can test the bot. So Amazon has taken care the task which they want to do. Now it's on us. So I'll go copy this. I'll say, please reserve a table. In which hotel you want to book? I'll say Taj. On what date? Let's say I say 6th of Feb. Here you can see by default at the bottom of my screen, it just covered how many inputs it has already covered. what is the date format. So it's very smart. I just gave 6th Feb. You can see that it automatically converted into 2022, the full date, right? So let's say I say at 9 p.m. You can see automatically it just transcribing the automatic. How many people you want to have? 5. Are you sure you want to book a table at Taj for given date at given time? Let's say yes for now. And you get the entire thing. So it covers, if we go back here, it covers the restaurant name. If we go with the entire description, right? So it covers the hotel name. It asks me for the booking of table, right? For booking which date you want to do, which time you want to do, how many people are there, right? So all these 4 options are covered. Then, are you sure you want to book a table at this? I said yes, right? And he said thank you, which was the last response. Okay, that okay, thank you for booking the table around it. So that's how it's very simple to book or create the bot. And at the last, let's say this testing is done successfully and everything is working fine, what you can do at the last is you can publish this bot. So you can give a alias. As I said, it is very important to give a alias so you can backtrack, right? So I'd say, let's say live. So this is very simple. What it's going to do is it will compile, it will see all the kinds of different things, the different policies what they have internally, and then it will create a package which is you can take that package and you can integrate with any of your additional kind of third party, any external platform, what we have learned in the previous section. It can just go and integrate around it. But in order to do remember, when you want to integrate your Lex bot to a larger people, you have to publish it. So as you can see, bot version 1, the alias is live, bot name is booking table. Now you can integrate with the mobile hub, you can integrate to the mobile, you can use Amazon service itself called as Amplify. If you don't know about, it's a kind of an service which help you to build the application, mobile application, which you can connect, interact the bot, connect the bot, I mean build an application, connect the bot, and you can have that bot running in the mobile. So this is as simple how we can play around with the legs. And then the things which we have learned here, you can see these different metrics from the CloudWatch, the different kinds of an utterances that comes up. So that's about from a very quick overview about what Amazon Lex is all about. A quick demo which you can play around, which you can build the steps I've already given in the GitHub. You can play around. Let me quickly recap what we have learned so far today. So we have learned about what is chatbot, the different types of chatbot and application, Amazon Lex, how it can encapsulate the entire complex thing and allows user to work and build a chatbot in a very simple way without writing any single line of code. That's how we demonstrated how Lex behind the scene underneath the hood is working with different machine learning services of Amazon. This is an example, real life example of Amazon Lex, how powerful solution you can build with using Lex. The different features of taking text as an input speech, you can deploy, integrate, version, the different kinds of use case, benefits of chatbot using of Amazon Lex, like we just understood from the demo itself, how exactly Lex can integrate with Lambda and can perform and can interact with any other services. 4 different steps as we understood in the demo: create a chatbot, test the chatbot, publish, and you can deploy and integrate with any platform. Key concepts: Amazon bot. I'm pretty sure now you're confident what this bot, what is intent, slots, slot type. This is an example which we just saw live working in my AWS account, which you can replicate by following the steps in the GitHub README file. The intent fulfillment and Lambda function as a hook. And this is a life cycle which we have demonstrated, like you create and save the bot, build, test, publish. And last, you can monitor your chatbot, the misutterances, the request latency, and traffic by channel. So this is what the demonstration we have done. The same thing I've given in the presentation as well as README file. So that's what I have from today's session. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. I'll switch back to the console and see if you guys have any questions, any queries. I'll be happy to answer them now. So I see any question. Sorry, there's too many messages, so I'm just quickly scanning through. And
Until Aurora has a question. Sir, is Amazon Lex the only fully managed service scalable chatbot?
so in case of AWS ecosystem, yes, Amazon Lex is the fully scalable service. There are other services which Lex works closely, things like Poly, Recognition, or you saw Kendra. But when it comes to chatbot perspective, Lex is the fully managed service. That's correct.
So another question. There are many chatbots out there. Then in what way Amazon Lex is useful?
Correct. So as I said at the beginning, right, the beauty of using Amazon Lex is it's a managed service. You really don't have to worry about writing the programming. You really don't have to worry about the infrastructure. From a pricing standpoint, also it's a pay as you go. So you have to be like a developer, or you want to solve a problem. Neither you have to worry about how I'm going to fund it, how I'm going to take care of it, or even how I'm going to take it to the market. Amazon Lex that gives the entire platform, not only from designing, it help you to even version and do it right. So those are the benefits where you can see Amazon Lex working out very well. And the best part of using Amazon Lex is that it can integrate with other AWS services also when it comes to processing. Like the true form of chatbot is just to build that experience, but Lex is beautiful because it not only just build the chatbot, but behind the scene it integrates with Lambda, and that Lambda can help you to interact with any AWS services.
Okay, so there is a question. Can this tutorial be done on AWS Educate account or only on root account?
Uh, that's a very good question. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'll do a research and post on the comment. Most probably, I think it should be, but I need to check like which are the services you can allow in Educate. I'll check with a couple of people who are part of AWS Educate, and I'll get back to you. I'll post it on the comment in the chat. I'll make a note of it at my end.
Okay, sir. So Mansha Batra has a question. Like AWS Azure also has a fully chatbot service.
That's correct. Each cloud, not just AWS, even Azure has it, even GCP has their own chatbot, right? Again, where exactly are you working out in which cloud? Each cloud has its own way of looking at the chatbot, uh, but it's all about the experience. It's all about simplifying it, how we can get around it. So Azure do have it, GCP you have. There are other platforms available in the market outside the cloud vendors. They do have a chatbot. When it comes to Lex, the beauty of pay as you go, the beauty to integrate, that's the best thing about it. And the other features of other cloud chatbot platform are almost on the similar line. So it's about where exactly you're working out and what kind of different application you can integrate, right?
Okay, sir. So Mohit Bishesh has a question. So what charges AWS takes after we publish our chatbot, and for how many days is it free?
So again, the Amazon Lex, there are certain things are free. Honestly speaking, I need to check the document. Like, is it couple of utterances are free or a couple of bots are free? Again, it's very the charges are very minimal. There are a couple of, this service. There are a couple of things which you get as a free tier on monthly basis, and few of them will be charged. For sure, I will look in the pricing section. I'll post it in the chat once you are going to the quiz section. I'll pull up that link of pricing and I'll share it on the chat. But I'm pretty sure the pricing are not going to be that one. So yeah, I have the link. So as you can see, I'll just post it in the chat. The pricing are very low. So yeah, Mohit, I've given the link of pricing in the chat. So it's 8,000 speech request. You get like almost not even cent, like 0.004 for 8,000 requests. If you talk about text, it's not even like it's very negligible, right? So if you see for building a bot which can take like 8,000 speech, 2,000 text, the charges is like $33 for building a bot which is like reaching out to 8,000 different people. It is very cheap and very cost effective.
Okay, I guess Prakhar Sinha's question is already answered then. There is a question by Pavan. While building a chatbot for Alexa on Amazon Developer, do we use Lex?
So Amazon Alexa and Lex, right? That's a again some or other way Lex, Amazon Alexa also you have that kind of a skill which you build, right? So behind the scene, the functioning if you see from AWS, the experience is the same, but that's a skill which you build. This is a more like a chatbot which is so you can think of like in if I just want to simplify and put it out, Just think of like two different things, but behind the scene, the technology stack, the way it works is the same.
Okay, I guess this was the last question.
So yeah, again, I know this is a very interesting topic and fun learning for everyone. So don't worry if you have more questions. I know we are running out of the time, so you can post in the chat, or you can reach out to me in LinkedIn or AWS user group Dehradun. I'm even part of that Slack channel. There are various ways you can reach out to me. So don't worry about if you have any questions and queries. I'm always available. I'll pass it on to Nupur, so you can have the quiz and other stuff. So Nupur, over to you.
Sure, sir. Coming to the end of this insightful session, I would really like to thank Mr. Sanchit for sharing his precious time with us and for delivering such an informative session on Amazon Legs. I'm sure everyone who took part in this session had a great time and learned a lot. I'm confident that the information presented in this session will enable them to develop in their careers and take advantage of more chances. Thank you again for being with us, sir.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Everyone, kindly fill the feedback form that is provided to you in the chat box. Now, let's move on to the final and very promising quiz section of our event. The quiz has 5 questions regarding Amazon Lex. We are using Kahoot as our platform. You can join the link that is provided in the chat box. Please enter with your registered names, the names that you use to register for the event. Only then we'll be able to track you regarding our prizes that we have for the winner of this quiz. Everyone, please join through the link. Then I'll be sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, yes, Nupur, it is visible. Please proceed with the quiz after 1 minute.
Okay, sir. All right. So everyone kindly remember that if possible, try to join with the second device because the questions will only be present on the live stream that we are showing you. The questions and the options are only present here in your platform. We'll only be able to show you with the colored boxes, which will be blue, green, yellow, and red. And you have to mark the box that matches the correct answer that is present in the live stream. So I can see a lot of people have joined. Okay, I'll be starting the game by 35. So everyone, whosoever is left, please join soon. Okay, so I think I can start the game now. Everyone, be ready. All the best. So the first question is Amazon Lex is an AWS service for building Dash interfaces. Your first option is image in red, conversation in blue, video in yellow, and green, none of the above. Time's up for everyone. The correct answer was conversational. So let's see the scoreboard. Very good, Harish Gunasekar. Well done. Good, Siddhant Singh, Jyoti Bhasan. You all are doing great right now. The second question is Amazon Lex enables you to build applications using Dash. Speech in red, text blue, all of the above yellow, or none of the above green. You have 5 seconds left. Okay, the correct answer was all of the above. That is speech and text. So there is a slight change in the scoreboard. Siddhant Singh is leading the board now. Well done. So the third question is, what is a slot? The response from Amazon Lex back to the user in red, parameters that an intent might need in blue, a particular goal that the user wants to achieve yellow, or none of the above in green. Okay, the final answer was parameters that an intent might. So Siddhant Singh is again leading the board. Well done. The question is, what is an intent? A particular goal that the user wants to achieve in red, an Amazon Lex feature that does natural language processing in blue, the response from Amazon Lex back to the user in yellow, and none of the above in green. The correct answer was a particular goal that the user wants to achieve in red. So again, Siddhant Singh is leading the board, and there is a slight change. Mansha is second, and Ananya Kumari is following up. Well done, everyone. This is the final question of the round. What service does Amazon Lex use for text to speech? Your options are Amazon Alexa in red, Amazon Polly in blue, Amazon Recognition in yellow, or none of the above in green. 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so the correct answer was Amazon Polly. So let's see who has won. Congratulations, Ananya Kumari, Mansha, and Siddhant Singh for the prize. I hope you all had a fun time playing with us. So here we come at the end of this session. Thank you everyone for participating. We hope you had a lot of fun and learned a lot. We hope to see you soon with new projects and events. Thank you very much.